Now, with Photoshop open, the Photoshop preferences, like all applications on a Mac, right here underneath the name of the application's preferences. And the Adobe's apps have so many preferences, there's a flyout menu. And you can see Command K here for general. And both Illustrator and Photoshop use the same shortcut. And just for kicks, just close that and hit Command K, just so you get a feel for it. You're not going to come into the preferences in Photoshop as often as in Illustrator, because when you're setting up grids and guides in Illustrator, you need to customize those every time so they work with you. But back to Photoshop. There, as you see, there are a lot of preferences, and we're going to stick with just a few. I should show you the interface. I didn't show you in Illustrator. You can set a color theme from everything from, oh my goodness, this doesn't even look like an application, to, ooh, that's cool. So season to taste, what you like. Skip everything else and come down here to units and rulers. And this is kind of like Illustrators. We're going to change the rulers and type to pixels. Okay? We're going to change the column size away from points and picas to inches. Now, why would we do that? I explained it in the Illustrator video, and if you don't remember points and picas and pixels and the connection to commercial printing and the history of, graphic design, hey, go back and watch that video again. I'm not going to explain it because I don't think you're interested. Here's a biggie. Print resolution. All over the world, people are going to say 300 or 600, or in high-end printing, higher than that. But it's always a multiplication, evenly divisible part of the native resolution of the printer. Now, that great big machine in front of my desk is an Epson printer. It's a Pro printer. It was bought in 2008. It has printed now for 13 years. Hasn't needed any servicing. It's printed so much stuff for the school. And yeah, we run through ink. And yeah, the ink is really, really expensive. $90 a cartridge. And it has 8 cartridges in it. One of the perks of buying a Pro printer is you get to talk to the Epson print masters. And I wanted to establish the correct print resolution for our printer. And he told me that you wanted to stay evenly divisible to the native print resolution. You don't need to know that, but for right now, he said 360 is a sweet spot. And so for a few years, we printed at 360. And then I wondered, and I did a test print at 180. And then I did several more test prints at 180. When you cut the resolution in half, you cut the file size in quarters. If 360 is 100 megabytes, 180 is 25 megabytes. So we had computers with not as much power as the ones you have right now. So it mattered. And so I printed copies, and I got my best students to come up, and I said, show me the difference between these. And one student claimed he could see a small difference. But long story short, we print at 180 pixels per inch because it works and it makes killer prints. Okay, so change this print resolution to 180. The screen resolution should be on 72. And then here, points and picas, we got no choice in the matter. What do you want? Postscript or traditional? It doesn't matter. We're not using points and picas, so you don't worry about it. So again, make sure units, what is that? Units are in pixels, and the column size is in inches, and the print resolution is 180. Okay, we'll hit type later. What invalid number entry? Where? I don't know where that is. you probably saw it. I thought I saw something change right here. So I don't know what was going on. Type. We'll talk about glyph protection later on, but you notice there's none of those cool settings that Illustrator had. But the last thing I want is technology previews. And we'll learn more about this stuff. But right now, preserve details. This is Adobe's artificial intelligence working with Photoshop, making magic happen. This you want on. And we'll talk about the rest later on. This is killer. Okay, it really changes how Photoshop works. And when you're upsampling images, which used to be, don't do that. And that's it. Those are Photoshop preferences, and the rest, this interface, the cloud documents, all this stuff, you know from Illustrator.